Good morning, traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be looking at live order flow analysis, going through to understand the behavior of the participants in the auction. The only way that you can understand the participants in the auction is via their orders. This is how we engage in the market. This is why order flow can give you an edge, is by understanding the behavior of the orders or the action, and then we put it into analysis as well as kind of a top-down approach here. So this is our approach right here, and it's the same as the Bookmap Academy that we use. So we start with the impetus, what's moving the market, the key levels on the higher time frames, and then we develop strategies and scenarios around those key levels. We want to understand what's happening at those key levels, and then that will determine, well, due to the scenarios that we come up, is it, if we come up to the highs of the day, is it, are there jitters in the market that we're going to trade back down into the mean, etc. Those are the scenarios. Then it comes to your setup. Right? What's your setup? What's your checklist? You should know it. We grade it. We determine the risk and the sizing. And then it's order flow events. And we execute and manage the trade. All right. So what I just outlined is part of the Bookmap Academy. Now, this pilot program here is also, it's a subset of the Bookmap Academy, but it's very, very focused on building an edge. Okay. The setup that we give is very simple, is very straightforward. However, it covers all of the essential elements, and then you gain experience very quickly using replay mode in Bookmap, as well as a trading journal. And this is how you'll build an edge for yourself. You'll understand via your own experience what to look for, the nuances in the trade, how to take it, because you will have done it hundreds of times in practice in replay mode. So when it presents in the live market, you will see it, you will take it, you will manage it correctly, and you'll move on to the next trade. This is how you can build a real trading edge. And this is the biggest problem or distinction I've seen in retail traders. Most know their setups, but they just don't know how to build an edge, how to come up with a program like this for themselves. We're here for you. If you want to partake in it, I'll put the link into the chat for you. All right, let's jump in. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's take a look. I promised that we would cover in the pilot program. I promised that we would go over and cover yesterday's activity. Now, so I need to spend a little bit of time on that for you guys, and also the beginning of the week. So what we covered yesterday was kind of like a really big review from the previous week and on Friday's activity. Okay, we saw that sharp move to the downside and then really big recovery back to the upside, and we were looking for a move to the upside as well yesterday, and you can see here during that webinar yesterday. Let me just make these volume dots a little bit smaller. This was what we got handed to us here. I mean, this is just hilarious. Like, prime hours, 10 o'clock, to 11:30 or so, and we're looking for the move to the upside, and we're handed the counter trend trade move to the downside. That's okay. We just read the order flow. And we want to understand it, and we weren't looking for that move, and we got it. But let's zoom in here, and let's take a look at it. Now, these two this line I'll get rid of. Let's be fair, because like these two lines we had during the webinar, we were looking for a reaction on the higher time frame. at these levels. Now, I also put in, here at the cash or 930 open here, a key level, or I think it was a little bit below at these swings here from the overnight. And it blazed right through that, and it went down into the lows of the overnight here. Okay, so anyway, that's where we saw the, if we zoom in here, okay, we see quite a bit of liquidity on the bid. Now, there was liquidity on the bid all the way through these areas in here. Then it went through really quickly. But then again, high liquidity on the bid, right? And especially, this is beautiful, right into this move here around 96 or so. And why we had this is the swing here. We were looking for something like that around that swing. And then we also mentioned potentially, like, down to 90, 67, 90, just because at that level, well, I don't know. I've seen it many times go through the figure at 6,800, go about 10 points, and then we see a sharp reversal. In this case, it went down below this swing here, and then we get our reversal. All right, so looks pretty good in here. And we talked about this area in here also being the potential shoulder for the head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so in fact, what it did was kind of a double bottom instead, and then we look at the harsh or severe angle in this move, as well as volume. Okay, this is what we want to capture, and I hope you guys did. It was a great trade. I thought this happened after the webinar ended. We ended it, I think, around 11:15 or so yesterday, so somewhere around in here, I think. Anyway, a beautiful move, and screams to the upside here. Pull back. Look where the pullback came. Okay, that's why we mark these areas up at the swing. And then we see another move to the upside here. Okay, nice, beautiful move to the upside. All right. So, and then here's the high of the day here. And this is what we were looking for. We were looking for the swing up in here to come up to 68.50. Okay, like this would be your impulse move, your chop, flag pattern, impulse move. And it just didn't. It just failed. It went down. We get all our absorption, and we get the move up. Okay, so what are the takeaways here? Let me see if everyone can hear me and see my screen. Hold on a minute. All right, if you can just confirm that over in the chat room, all markets room. I just have to make sure that you can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you. And YouTube should be pretty good. All right, thanks, Dan. You put the link in there for the chat. Okay, excellent. Great. All right, so now there's actually, I'm gonna continue on in this bigger picture review in here. This is order flow. It is on the higher time frame, and we're seeing these pretty big moves. So order flow works on all time frames. So we're going to kind of cover the bigger moves, intraday moves in here, also multi-day moves in here. Okay, so we started off on yesterday going over that. Actually, Friday we talked about it, and then let's take a look here actually, and we'll zoom out actually in the candlestick chart. Okay, so here's the daily here on the left, and this was Friday here, and then it just looked like everything's going to hell in a handbasket, and then we see lots of buying pressure, tons come in, and in fact, just from like 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., we saw a nice gap up, and you can see where it opened up on Sunday here, or yesterday, and then we see the really nice move to the upside. Okay, and that's what we were looking for, a move up into some of these swings up in here. This one especially I was kind of eyeing this 42, and then we have this 55, 56 up here as well. Anyway, nice move. That's what we're looking for. We got, we saw the shakeout during our session, and there's a lot of takeaways from that. Number one, bigger picture, we know that there is a period here between usually around 9:30 to 10 East Coast time. You get that big impulse move or the directional move. From 10 to 11:30, you get a lot of chop a lot of times. Now, not always, but we can look for that to unfold. Okay. We even mentioned it yesterday during the webinar, and I just want to, I don't care that I mentioned it or not, because this was looking great, just to go to the upside, and we were looking for it, right? We even put a measured move in here. It should come up to around 47, 45, something like that. Everything's looking good in here, and nope, like the market craters back down below some of the swings in here, at this point in here, it's like, okay, yeah, it looks great, it should do it, but just beware. This is a time of day here. It's what, 10:30 or so. This is exactly when we want to be aware. And don't fight these kinds of trends here. Anyway, that's one takeaway. It's a time of day, right? Now, there's other things to take away, and I had a little back and forth with Duzman yesterday in the pilot program chat room. So another takeaway from all of this that we've been talking about for quite a while is buying the dips. All right, so we see retail traders buying the dips like never before, and we see these really sharp moves, and they happen very quickly. Okay, this is like here on Friday, right? This move to the upside that we were looking for, and there's another takeaway though, and this actually goes back to some months ago at all-time highs, and the takeaway was that people were buying the dips, but we get up into the highs and people aren't buying higher highs. And that is the environment we're in. And this is the bigger picture. Okay, we're still talking about the bigger picture here, and we're trying to get a feel for the impetus in the market. What's moving the market? All right. So what is the sentiment out there? Well, the sentiment on Friday was bad until it wasn't. And the sentiment all week was bad last week. This is Monday here, and then here's Friday over here. Then the sentiment that I thought was kind of funny yesterday was like, we're still finding some sellers in here. So it went to where we thought or we wanted it to go, up into like this 50 level, 42 to 56, somewhere around in there. But the figure is really what I had my eye on at that 50, 68.50 level. But we're still finding some sellers in here, right? So we're coming up into these areas, and we're seeing nice moves up into them. And then look at today. Okay, so what's going on? What is the overall sentiment? Well, just from reading the news and what's going on out there, there's some jitters. Even though earnings were great, and last week or a couple weeks ago, earnings were fantastic in the AI field or in tech. Now, there's some jitters though in the market that is overvalued. It's overcooked. And it's overbought. So the market is starting to look at this and go, well, maybe it's not worth the valuations. We also had the government shutdown, but that's pretty much alleviated at this point. But we're still not quite sure. But it's coming through. It looks like. So we will have economic data as well to add into the picture. The Fed and interest rates, well, the market has been pricing in, I believe, a December cut. But I don't know about that. We've been flying just on lack or just on earnings, basically, and some bad, geopolitical stuff. But we had no economic data from Statistics Bureau of Statistics and from labor. So we don't know. But anyway, so it's kind of a murky picture, and we're seeing like this kind of hesitancy in the market. All right, so Duzman, this is why I wanted to cover all of that, is because like, are we looking now for these really strong moves? And I would say at the bottom in some of these areas in here, at the after big sell-offs, we are, but we want to look at our key levels, and then on the way back up though, a rush back up into maybe the mean up in these areas in here from like last week, or some of the swing highs. Okay, and then breaking some of these swing highs though, I'm not so sure. All right, so that's kind of the sentiment, or kind of piecing it together. So now that's market impetus. Now our key levels. Okay, so well, we have one up here, and let's just mark it up. Okay, and we came up and we pierced above it, and got another one up here. So this is at 69,000 or 6,900. And that was a high of last week. Okay, so we've got some levels here, and you can see that we're not finding the buyers to be able to lift it higher at this point. Okay, so I think what we have is we had our range expansion days, Friday and Monday, and then right now we're going to chop, and we're probably going to see, I don't know, it depends, but a lot of back and forth between some of these key levels in here. So that is what I am kind of looking for. And if we come back down to some of these lower levels, I want to see the order flow setups for buying that bottom edge, and then lifting it back up into the mean or the other side of the range. All right, so where does that leave us off from yesterday? Okay, so yesterday I was quite bullish after Friday, and then yesterday, hold on a minute. Yesterday was still bullish, and then we had this harsh sell-off here during the webinar, back down into these lower levels in here, and then a beautiful trade. Now, this is what I was talking about, and this is finally getting to the point here. This is like a pullback in the bigger picture. Okay, so for a 2-day extended range and move to the upside, this was a pullback. All right, so now it's not, it's a low volume pullback as well, but on the higher time frame it would be. Okay, now for the intraday though, this is a reversal. All right, so where I'm going with all of this is, in the bigger picture, we're still bullish. So trading a reversal like this, you would anticipate or start to look for this kind of pretty strong buying to come back in, instead of fighting a reversal that's going against you. Basically, this is easier, and Duzman, I've seen you fighting some of these moves like all-time highs, or your criteria is being met in the reversal, and you're not getting annihilated by it, but we're just not getting the move to follow through to reverse. So instead, it just kind of chops around and accepts higher or accepts lower, but and then you get a continuation move. Okay, so you get a strong impulse move, it chops around, you're looking for that reversal, but it doesn't follow through, and then in the bigger picture, what you do is you get a continuation move. All right, now this is much more ideal. I think this is a pullback in the bigger picture, or in the last few days at least. So look for that break, and then look for the continuation. or I'm sorry, the reversal. Intraday, you're looking for the reversal. Does that make sense? Are any questions on this? And also, trading is life. You referred to this one as a this move here as a low volume pullback, and it, I didn't look at it that way unless you want to call it a low volume pullback in this regard. Okay, so in this regard here, here's our impulse move, or another impulse move here, and then we see the low volume pullback here, right? So if that's it, then yeah, I would say it is. But intraday and what the time frame we were looking at in here, this was a reversal pattern. Okay, now that's going to happen on, that effect, not to confuse people, but that's going to happen on many time frames. If we zoom into any time frame in here, we'll find a reversal pattern up in here, right? And then is this, it depends on the time frame you're trading. That's what I'm trying to get at here, right? So and this is like a low volume pullback in here. It's not the lowest volume in here, but it's less than there is from the buy side. Okay, so we can look for, again, another move once the buyers start to take control in here. And this one's kind of tough. I don't really see it. I don't see those buyers taking control yet. Okay, so I would pass on this one. Okay, maybe I'd be looking up in here when I start to see those buyers take control. I'm looking at the size and color of the dots as well as the delta bars down here. I like looking at both. Nope, you were wrong. My God, it's so refreshing to hear that someone says I was wrong. I try to do it as much as I can, but anyway, thank you, Trading is Life. That's the best laugh I've had today. And just like being really clear, okay, what we're looking for the low volume pullback is impulse move, pullback on lower volume, and a shallow pullback typically, or somewhere around half of the distance, and then we're looking for that a structure to break in here, and then we're looking for buyers to come in on the other side. Okay, big buying to come in on the other side, and then we're looking for the second impulse move, and you take some off at the swing and look for extended move. Okay, now just you don't have to take some off of that swing, but like, it's a good practice, especially beginning. Take some off at the swing. Because you just want to hit a single and you want to build some confidence in this. You might not get it. It might exhaust out up here and then it rolls over and then you've got a loss and you don't believe in it. So we want to build confidence first. Okay? P&L will follow confidence. All right, let's get caught up here into the live market. And what do we got? Okay, so interesting stuff here. All right, so that was yesterday. Here is today. Okay, and here's a swing where we broke out from right here. So this is going to be a key level. Now, at this point, I can get rid of all of these other ones in here, and we may redraw them later. Okay, I am interested in this key level here. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Okay. I'll zoom into this little area here. I just want to make sure I get the right swing. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. All right, guys. All right, so we're just dipping into that area right now, and let's take a look at today's activity, and a lot of liquidity up down in these areas in here. So this is good. All right. So now let's put the. This is why this is a great example. This is why I started off with the trend line break and accumulation. So, or structure break accumulation. Okay, passive accumulation on the bid. First thing, that's what we want to notice. And we want to look at and read and understand this kind of behavior in here. You know, are they getting filled? How much? What are the reaction by the buyers here, the aggressors? Or does the selling, is it overpowering the passive liquidity and we blaze right through into lower levels, into high liquidity on the bid? Okay, so like right now, this looks pretty good I would just look for a quick scalp up to maybe the swing here at 42 or so, because we do see some of that liquidity getting filled, and then we see some buyers and we broke this structure, and this is a little bit of a pullback right here. Okay, so now let's just see if we can get buyers to just lift it back up into, I don't know, 42 or 43. All right, now just note that this is not a setup actually right now. Okay, it hasn't. I would just look for that in the order flow, but we'll see. We still have high liquidity down here at 30 or 30 to 31, and we're not out of this zone yet of selling here. Okay, we don't know. So we might get strong selling right back down into 30 liquidity here before we see some strong buying coming back in. Okay. Yeah, this is not a trade setup in here. I was just looking for the move back up into this area because I do see some buyers, and we did break out of this area here, this structure area in here. All right, so but it is not the strong setup that we're looking for. All right, let me see if there's any questions on YouTube. No. Okay. Okay, here we go. And let's see, you know, are we going to get some buyers and try to trade back up into the swing around 42 to 43 or 44? I was wrong. I hope that helps your psyche. Now, you know what? The best way to the best way, Tom, to deal with that is it's not about. I think this is a big hang up most traders have, is just they have to be right or wrong, you know, and it really, if you can overcome that, it's so much easier. That, you know, just say immediately admit I was wrong, or just not even try. You're just looking for your setup to unfold. That's it. You know, you've traded it so many times in replay mode. You know your setup, so it's just more likely to unfold, and that's it. Don't have to worry about all these other things, and I have to be right, I have to be wrong, I told you so. You know, it's not about that, really. The more, or the easier we can overcome that, the quicker our path to becoming an excellent trader. All right. Yeah, I'm still not getting any clarity in here. Actually up in here, we don't see that buying, and we're starting to see more selling in here at the lower levels in here. So sellers got to pick it up in here. This is what I would look for now. I'm looking for sellers here around this 36, and then we can maybe slash through the 35 level. Okay, so that's what I'd be looking for right now. Earlier, I was right in here. It was like, okay, we're above it. We see the buying, we see a pullback, we see more buying. Now I'm reversing that. I'm looking for sellers to hit the bid here and take it down into this 30, 31 liquidity. Okay. All right. So now how would I handle this down here? I would take some profit. I would take some profit right around here at 31 and a half, right in front of that liquidity. Times before, we kind of focused on it some weeks ago, and it really has to do with measured moves. But when are we, like this right in here, we wanted to take, our profits just before that high liquidity. This is why. This is exactly why. Due to experience and understanding. It's not being right or wrong. It's due to experience. I think that's I just become convinced that's what it's really all about here. Through experience, you're going to understand that not all are going to be right, but you understand that the move happens, more often than not. And we would take some off here, and then we would anticipate this kind of pullback like this. Okay, why would we anticipate a pullback like this? Okay, and this is not a low volume pullback either, right? I see a lot of volume on the buy side, so maybe we'll just chop in here for a while. Okay, anyway, why I would say that in here is just look at some of the moves in here. In fact, this did a move. Is this the big move? Not really. It actually kind of chopped, and then it did a little bit of a kind of a flag pattern right in here. Okay, and it's impulse move. This is your low volume pullback on a low time frame, and then there's the next impulse move. Okay, so because of that, because of the distance of this move here, we are anticipating that there's going to be a pullback. Okay, so we want to take our profit in front of it. All right, now we don't know. I mean, many times you see that we take some profit in front of it here, and that selling just goes like all the way back down into some of these lows in here, and the big move unfolds, something like this move here. We don't know, right? But this we can kind of guesstimate, or we can kind of look at it and we can anticipate there's going to be a reaction at this level down here, or right in front of it. And that helps my psyche. All right. Wow. Let's see. So let's jump over to NQ. Repeat, you're talking about something. So there's a big move here. I mean, the NQ is gonna since there's the jitters are happening in tech. So let's zoom out here. Wow. Okay. So I mean, spot on. Repeat. And look at this high liquidity on the offer here. Just continues to lower it here. Large player. No interest in getting filled in here. If he wanted to get filled, this larger player, look where he dropped his liquidity from here at 609 and a half down to like 68 and a half. 609. 609 and a half down to 68.5. So yeah, quite a bit. And then he moved it back up. So this guy doesn't want to get filled. And he still doesn't want to get filled. Then he moved it down, and he moved it down again here. 879 contracts. Okay, so looks like a kind of spoofing type of behavior to me. Okay, look at the figure here at 25,500, and let's zoom out here. Now we haven't looked at NASDAQ here in the bigger picture, but yeah, let's see. Looking for the swings down here, looking for the reaction down here. Now we're going to get a reaction probably at the figure, but we're going to see also if we can get a continuation move. We're going to see a reaction probably down in here, right? If you guys want to use this, I like using the ray tool, and they just hold shift down and you'll get it to be either 45 degrees, 90, or 0. Okay. All right, so let's see for everybody, what especially though, like for Duzman, repeat, others, like putting this bigger picture, these pieces together, impetus of what's moving the market. We understand that. We understand the jitters out there, and some of the other issues, and then we're looking at our key time frames. Now we also know through our studies from the last several days that we're seeing people buy at the lows after a big move down, but they're not necessarily buying at the highs. So we know that there's back and forth in here. So that's what we're looking for, and we're looking for maybe pressing down to some of these lower areas or pressing up to some of these areas, but not necessarily breaking them. All right, and then so we look for setups. If you're looking for a continuation pattern, then you're looking for that trend to start to unfold down to your key levels and take your profits. Okay, so trying to put this all together into a cohesive plan in your playbook, and also for your journaling. Okay, so we just went through 1, 2, and 3: impetus, key levels, and then strategies and scenarios. Now we look for our setups at our levels. Okay, so as you can see, oh, it looks like, look at that, finally this guy, he actually got filled. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, all right, and we're seeing a pullback immediately. Makes sense. Guys, you will see, like this is a pretty good example of using Bookmap and order flow. You know, this move here, this is like a reversal pattern right in here. Okay, this is your inverse head and shoulders. Here's your measured move right in here. Okay, and there's high liquidity up there, and there's a swing up here as well. Okay, so we'd be looking for something like a pullback here. Okay, especially in NASDAQ. NASDAQ hits these levels of liquidity like this, and you'll see a reaction pretty quickly. You know, not always, but very frequently. All right. Any questions? Any questions on this kind of bigger picture plan? This plan here will work with any setup. I mean, it's really important. You have to have an outlook for the day, and understand what's driving the markets, why, and then your key levels, and then scenarios and strategies around those key levels. Then pick your setup. Okay, this will work for any way of trading. You're going to go through this process. For swing trades, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, it might be a little bit different. You'd have a bigger picture, not just impetus, but like you would have a kind of an idea for an outcome, and look for that to if it plays out or not. All right. Okay, so let's go through this in here. Let's look at the order flow after the impulse move. Okay, you can see that we're chopping here, but we found some support here. Okay, now again, I don't see much liquidity in here, but I would look for this. Okay, up here for it to break and to retest back up to here at 50. Okay, so that would be like a 10-point move up to 50. Okay, let's see if we get it here. Okay, because this is the move that drove the market, and we're now in a new range here. And let's see it, buyers. Okay, now up here though, that's where I would take my profit. Okay, and or at least partial. Okay, well that's about all we got out of it. It looks like. So that's over now. Okay, so if that was a how would you manage something like this? Well, there's a few different ways. In the NASDAQ, you have to manage things pretty quickly. If I don't get a breakout here and follow through after the retest down to the top of this range in here, I am out. Okay, this would be a small loss for me. Okay, because I'm looking for it after the impulse move to retest the high here. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this is what helps my psyche in here, is going over this with you guys to and say like this is how I'd manage it, and I'd take a small loss. Okay, it didn't do what I was looking for. I'm out. Okay, and then I don't have to put up with this. This is actually a setup, kind of on a smaller time frame. This is actually a setup in here. Let me go over it, and we can go over entries and exits as well. So entry would be it's a tough one to kind of see in here, but what this is, yeah. Let me describe it, and I'll show you it on the Learning Center. Another thing too, I just want to mention, was really funny. I was watching last night. I've seen a few episodes of this, and it's something on I think it's on HBO, or maybe it's on Amazon Prime. It's about Societe Generale, and back during the financial crisis, a trader that was like 50 billion at a loss, and it fits the patterns that we all fall into. Here's this highly professional trader, and he had a big win. It was he won like in 2007, I think he was up. Well, first off, he was down about 2 billion, and then it went his way, and he profited. He was short due to the subprime markets, and he had 1.5 billion in profit. and everyone started to think he's a genius and looking, toward him. And then what did he do? He started to buy, thinking that, well, it's going to rebound. And he continued to buy as it went against him, and really got hurt. Okay, so this is where I wanted to go with this, and it's what Tom is talking about over on YouTube. Against your psyche, take the loss. Take the quick loss. I'm looking for a quick little scalp up to the top of the range here. Didn't do it. In fact, it's on low volume. This is a double top. Okay, so how do you play it? Well, here's the retest back up in here, and this would be kind of like a low volume pullback. If we don't get buyers, start to look for the sellers over in this area, right in here or down here, and then look for the follow through. Okay. Anyway, don't add to the loser. Don't add to the buy side. Get out. Reassess. And yeah, it's gonna hurt. You'll be taking little cuts here and there, but you won't have a big loss. Okay, and even the best of them have the biggest losses. All these traders, they bring down like 100-year-old bank, unbelievable things. So to help your psyche, just look for your setup. You know it through your experience. If it doesn't display, you're wrong. You get out. You look for the next one. Now, that said, let's look at this pattern in here. Okay, so this is from the Learning Center here. Okay, if we go to bookmap.com, education, and we scroll down in here, is from the supply and demand course that we put together many months ago. Anyway, it was exactly for this time of day during this webinar, our failed mid-morning reversal pattern here. Okay, so it's doing it here. In NASDAQ, but it's just doing it on a smaller time frame. So what we have here is our impulse move to the downside. Okay, if I can look at this, here's 9:30 cash open. Boom! Look at the move to the downside, right? And then we see all of this chop from 10:30 to, well, about 12:15 or so. And this is what can be so, like, it gets you going the wrong way. It can be really discombobulating. Like you'll see, like this looks like a head and shoulders reversal here, right? Exactly what we're just kind of looking at in the NASDAQ. And then here it turns into this double top here. So you get leg one, impulse move, pull back, okay, low volume pullback, test back up to the top again, and then this fails in here. Okay, this here is our pullback. This one's much cleaner or clearer in my mind. I see the exhaustion here. I see the selling coming in here. I'd look for the move back down to the lows, and then maybe the continuation. Okay, so what we have basically is it's kind of a fake out, but what the bigger picture move is the impulse move, and then it's kind of like almost like a flag, or it's a pullback, okay, but there's some volume in there, but it fails. Okay, and then you get this continuation move to the downside. Right, so and this happens after, well, in this case you can see it happened after afternoon actually. Usually we see it a little bit earlier, but we look for this. Okay, I remember covering this. I don't know if you guys remember it. God, we were doing webinars and GoToWebinar at that point, and it wasn't on YouTube. I don't even think you could stream on YouTube. And this happened a lot also in crude oil. We would see this kind of move here. Anyway, let's jump back and let's take a look here at the NASDAQ, because it did it here, right? And this is that double top here, and then our continuation move here. Okay, so now what are we looking for? Continuation move here, impulse move, pull back, and then impulse move. Okay, now we just traded into high liquidity at 2,500, but this is our next test down here, and I would look for it to trade through. Okay. Okay, we see the volume come in. All right. So now, how hot are people on tech right now? Well, let's zoom out. Let's look at the bigger picture here and start to put the pieces together. Okay. Yeah, I think coming down and retesting this little zone in here looks pretty good to me. Okay, this is where those buyers came in yesterday, almost around this time. Okay. Okay, makes sense, guys. So that's putting the pieces all together in here in this NASDAQ move. Okay, so that's going back in here and looking at what's moving the market with your impetus, understanding your key levels, now coming up with scenarios and strategies, and then our setup. All right. Let's see. Good morning on YouTube. You're using the TOS version. Yeah. The COB numbers should be similar. They should be the same. They should be precisely the same. You don't see that in NASDAQ? Or is it in the ES? Well, let me go over it. You won't really know unless you really zoom in to like this level here, because I'll show you why. What we do, and this is very hard to see this in NASDAQ because these are single digits in here in the order book, and look how quickly it moves, right? Do you see 28 up here right now at 502, 27 at 502? Now it's 7, right? So it's moving quickly. But here's why you might see a difference here. If I zoom out, what we do is we start to kind of aggregate them together, and we'll show you the key levels here. Like there's 29 around this level up here, right? We'd have to kind of zoom in to really see it though. Okay. And there it is. It's at 03. There's 29 at 03. Okay. So if I zoom vertically here though, you don't really see it anymore. That might be what's happening there. From the Thinkorswim version to the Bookmap desktop version. All right. All right, guys. Well, let's see here. There was a lot of. Let me get back into Discord. Repeat. I'm not sure what the higher low had a target. It's under attack. Lower high. Watch for the low bars. Yeah, I'm still looking for this to continue here, right? To the downside. Okay, we're seeing jitters, like now again, like is there a setup in here on this? Well, not really. We kind of missed it already. It would have been, well, I mean, according to that video, we would have been looking for it somewhere in here. But yeah, it's hard to justify it in this area in here. Okay, well, now we've come down, we went below the figure here, and we're starting to find some buyers. Now, do the buyers, it's good buying, so it's pretty strong. So where are they going to take it? And can they start to break some of these structures in here? Now, they just broke this structure here. Okay, so let's see if they can trade up to like this one here, around 18 to 20. Okay, if they can't, and we start to roll over again, I'd look for a continuation to the downside. Okay, so we might get that double top in here yet again. Okay, or maybe at this point, below the figure, we get buyers back up above 25,500. Okay, so let's see if we get our exhaustion up here. Not right now, we're not. Right, see the buyers? So likely so far back up into, this kind of all right, what we say 18 to like 21, it should be 21 or 22. Okay, so let's see now. Is there still appetite by these buyers in here? Yeah, so far so good. A repeat. So my higher low can be a fractal based on time-based moon based. Yeah. Look at, you got to remember, always look back at your moon cycles. Okay, higher liquidity up here at 40. Where does that relate to? Just to where it dropped from up here. Okay, well, it's set up here to, if it can't break out and we see the selling come back in here, let's see if we can get some momentum here on that sell side again and hit down into 500. Okay, so that's a lot of buying here so far. Okay, there's our retest. Still some buying up here though, still auctioning, so we can come back up here and we can break out. Yep, there we go. Okay, so now we're going higher highs. I would look for continuation here, and let's get back up into some of these swings again as well. This does look pretty good. Okay, up in here in your target at 40. Let's look a little bit higher as well. Okay. All right. So now we don't quite see this as a low volume pullback in here, but this would be the idea. So strong volume, pullback, and then we're looking at that to be low volume. Now it's not the lowest volume in here. Okay, so then what are we looking for then? Well, maybe it just comes back up to here at 34, and that's it. Maybe we don't get to the 40 liquidity up here, or 39 liquidity. Okay, in this case, we did. Okay. Okay, still. So we broke out, and then now we got to see if we can continue, or is this it after trading to this liquidity? Okay, so we always after trading to high liquidity, we look for a pullback, especially in the Nasdaq. Almost always. And then let's see if we get our sellers on the other side here. Okay, and let's see if they can trade it back down to 20. Looks pretty good. Or where we broke out from here, 22. You're looking for 25,548, really? I don't see much up there. I mean, the profile looks pretty horrendous here. We do see a P-shaped. But this is kind of wonky in here. Let's jump back to the ES for a moment. I'm kind of curious to see what happened here. Okay, so let's see the ES. High liquidity. Okay, so here's our 10 o'clock, right? And this is kind of where we left off. Yeah, we left off here, right? Yeah, that's right. We're looking for that kind of attack down to here, and I was still looking for it to go lower here. We're not. The question though is back to how we covered the market sentiment. Are we finding buyers at these lows, or at some of these? This is it's not really. It's a range in here. Are we finding buyers up in here? Yes, we are. Okay, so breaking this range looks pretty good. Now the range is on the, it's kind of, the high is up here. So I'm not looking for buyers up in this area up in here. Okay, based off of what we covered in terms of market sentiment. Okay, but we can see a move back up into that area. Okay, and we are. Okay, so they're trying. We can see buyers trying in here. Let's see, we got a question here. Is it true only billionaires use astrology? Good. That's a really good question. Well, I think it's historically documented that Nancy Reagan was running the White House with an astrologist, right? I believe. Back in the 80s, in the second term. That is kind of scary. To trade equities and options, which one you'd recommend, global or global plus? The difference here between global and global plus is mostly the add-ons and the ability to trade from the Bookmap chart. Okay, guys, let's see if we can get a breakout here. I'm kind of looking for it just up to this 43 liquidity here. I'm kind of looking for a measure move up into there, and we do see that there is some buying pressure building in here. It is a range in here, but we do see the buyers in here. Okay, so and where is this range happening? It's happening at these lows with all this liquidity down in here. Okay, so let's see if we got enough here at our back. Okay, some of this liquidity getting filled. Now that larger area of liquidity down at 30 never got filled. Okay, if this got filled, we would definitely be looking for the breakout. It would be better if we had this amount of volume up in here and this got filled down here. but it didn't, right? So we're kind of seeing some back and forth in here. Okay, and then we get exhaustion up here at this top edge. Okay, so sellers can try to take control, try to drop it back down into these areas, but I'm looking for buyers to come back in and try to swing back up in here and see if we can get a move or a breakout. Okay? And not much, just from like 40 to 44, something like that. Yeah, can we get Nancy Pelosi as a speaker? That would get some headlines for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Okay, let me show you where you can find this information. You're asking again about the different versions and you're confused. So go to bookmap.com and then click on pricing here. Okay, and then here's global and global plus here. Okay, so this is global plus. Scroll down a little bit more. See all these add-ons here. This is global plus. Okay, this is the big difference here. Okay, now that's for the add-ons, advanced add-ons. Okay, there's also a difference in here in trading. Okay, stocks and futures and cross trading. You do not get that with global, but you do get it with global plus. Right? Those are the big distinctions. Okay, you can see another one here, multi-book customizer. You do not get with global. You only get it with global plus. Okay, and second free license for replay. This is a big one for especially for you guys in the pilot program. This is huge, right? This is why I recommend to you to get Global Plus for the pilot program, because what that means is you can look at live data in here, and if nothing's shaking, nothing's happening, then jump over to replay mode on a laptop or on another machine. Okay, guys, I like this as a breakout right now because we exhausted here before and we're seeing buying pressure come back in. So let's see if we can get back up above it here. Okay, we've just seen this move so many times, right? That you get these sellers on the hook down here, and then they fuel the move to the upside, to our target, right? Now, and then how do we justify that in a setup in here? Okay, now, again, we haven't put the materials together for this setup here. In fact, I probably should for a breakout trade for you guys because we see this so many times. We traded back down here. Sellers could have taken control. They could have traded down to 30. We did not get that move. And so what we have is a move in this range in here, and then here's our buyers coming back in. Okay, now can they break this small structure? Can they break it on size? Yes. Okay, so let's see if we can get back up above or back up to here and then get more buyers again. Okay, now that's a pretty paltry breakout here. I'm looking for 44 here. Okay, so if I was looking for that, I'd have my stop, right down here. I don't know if I'd be hit yet, but pretty close to it. And that's it. Just take a break-even trade on this. Right? Look at the volume starting to come back in. So sellers. So it's we're not sure. This looks really good in here, and then we only came up to 42. Is half the distance we're looking for. We're looking for a 4-point move, not a 2-point move. Okay, so take the small break even or small win or small loss, and look for a better one. Like Charlie Chocolate's factories under attack. Repeat. Yeah, I mean that is not a bad analogy for the Nasdaq. And what kind of clarity do I have in here right now? None. Right? If I see a lot of buying back up here at 40 and a half, a lot better. right? I see nothing in here right now though, right? This was our high probability trade. It didn't reach our target. Okay, we'd probably be stopped out by now. Okay, just it didn't work. All right, let's jump over. Let's take a look at that NASDAQ again. I'm really curious. Okay, so kind of forgot where we left off. We saw this happen. No, we saw this happen. All right. Okay. There's our double top again in NASDAQ. And high liquidity. So these larger players are getting filled in here. And where he was basically like spoofing in here before, but now they're trading. They mean business. He pulled here, so he meant business a couple of times. Put it that way. All right, let's zoom out in NASDAQ a little bit and get a kind of a feel for what's happening here. And this is where we left off as, yeah, it's not so easy. It's not so easy because of yesterday. And what about today though? Right. Okay, so okay. All right, I think I got my bearings in here on NASDAQ. Now, there's quite a bit of buying in here. You know, I mean, we saw that big buying happen up here at the top of the, or into that high liquidity here. But in NASDAQ, what I'm seeing at least right now is we look at the cash open and 9:30 here, some back and forth, but you know, this is a strong move. And then let's see if we can, yeah, it's still strong. Let's see if we can get a continuation out of it then to the downside. Okay, so this is the time of day, and let's see if we can get it. Now it's not as clear as sellers being in control here. It's not as clear. Okay, I see a lot of buying there. I see some buying in here, but then after that, this is pretty much just selling. Okay, and then this big buy dot here, but into high liquidity. All right, let's jump over to the S&P and also to YouTube to answer your questions. All right, so No, the add-ons should work for you, well, yeah, I think all of those add-ons should work for you in stocks as well. Yeah. All right. Let's quickly take a look and go through. Uh, all right. So now we did get that move. So it kind of did it again here. I mean, like uh, we would have taken a break even on that because we were looking for 44. Uh, this is, I mean, we can look at it technically. I don't like it, but because it moved back into the range here, and we just don't know if sellers are going to take it here at this point and then hit down to 30 or at this point, right? So, but if we look at it in hindsight, this is the strong move. This is where we came back and retested, and we got buyers coming back in. So you could look for it to happen again. If you get buyers up at the top of this little range in here, and you did, and now you got the breakout. Okay, Nasdaq's gonna be breaking out too. Probably hit that liquidity. This guy pulled. Okay, this guy's really playing games here. So he pulled from this 68 and a half level on up to 600 now. Okay, so anyway, we got I was looking for the continuation move to the downside. And now we don't know. I mean, are we going to get follow through here, or are we going to see exhaustion on the buy side here and come back into the range and then to the other side, right? So we look for that. Or we're going to continue on up into 600. All right, I just want to go through here quickly for you. If anyone has any other questions about the packages here in Bookmap. Dome Pro, Execution Pro, they will work on stocks and futures. Footprint will work. Multi-account trading will not work. Yeah, absorption, break-even point, correlation tracker, they will all work. Multi-book customizer will work. Multi-brackets, I'm not sure. I believe they work. And then sweeps indicator, yes, that'll work. And there's your multi-book customizer again. And then trading from the chart and cross trading. So those should all work. All right, so Nasdaq broke out of that range. S&P did too, and now we're looking at the swing up here and trying to match it with some liquidity, and this swing up here just in front of 600. Okay, let's take a look at the candlestick charts in here on the daily, hourly in the middle, and the 15 on the right. Okay, so daily still hanging in there. I'm still I'm looking for a choppy day basically. I just after these are two big moves up to these swings in here, and the only thing that we still have these jitters basically about tech and about overvalued stocks. So yeah, I'm really not up at the top edges up in here. I'm looking for exhaustion, sellers, and to chop and come back into the range. Maybe slightly break out and then come back into the range. Okay. Anyway, those are the scenarios I've got. Yep, so far the price action supporting that. Okay, so let's see NASDAQ getting up close to that 600 level up here. S&P up at 68.50. Okay, and this is the high of the day up here at 52. All right, another scenario here, like after all of this down in here, and we got the breakout here, but you know, are we going to, maybe we'll, a scenario is to trade up to the swing, slightly break it, and then trade back down maybe to like where we broke out from, somewhere around this 42 area here. Okay, that would be a scenario for the chop. All right, guys, I think we're all squared away here on questions. Yep. All right, so well, yeah, nothing else really to cover here. The leave off with a few scenarios in here. Trading back up into the highs here, and then the move back down into like well, you can see this didn't even get above, really above 50 much here, and then we're already back down to what we were just talking about, around 42 or so. Okay, I mean, this is the environment we're in, and we can also see the sellers take it to the other side of the range in here. These false breakouts. Okay, NASDAQ will do that pretty nicely. Yeah. Okay. So let's see NASDAQ trade back down to 39 or 40 here. And then, you know, this could be that false breakout that we talked about. God, I'd hate to call it a false breakout. It's a nice move here. But we can come back down into 40. We're already at 40. We can come back down to the other side of the range, back down to 500, 25, 500, or lower here. Right. Okay, this is kind of what we talked about with that mid-morning reversal here. Anyway, we'll take a look at it, guys. Don't count it out, because this is really back and forth. Like, you know, how high do the buyers want to take it, and then the sellers come in and they'll drive it back down to the lows, and through it, to find more buyers again. Okay, so people are not buying the highs, they're selling them. They are buying the lows, and then trading it back up. Anyway, that's chop. We'll leave it at that, guys, and we will catch up next time. So that'll be on Friday at 10 a.m. Okay. Yep. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming, and we will catch up with you then. Bye-bye.